Jaden, look at this video.
My parents eventually got
Cool
me that
video.
difficulty light add-on so I wouldn't have to look like a moth whenever
How's
I went to
Ari
play Super
in
Circuit. Those
quarantine?
are classic childhood days I look back on fondly. It's weird how technology
Anyway.
is so good, but also straight up crap. You can't see
Reacting
games
to your
because
video
the screen
now.
is too dark. I don't know, here's a tiny light bulb. I played mainstream games like Pokemon and Mario and Kirby, but my parents also got me really random games they probably just found in the clearance bin at the store, which made for a mix of some interesting gaming experiences. And I kind of wanted to relive story days and see if the games actually were like I remember. So I replayed a bunch of them, and here's what happened. First game, Powerpuff Girls Battle Hymn for the Game Boy Color.
Oh no.
It
was very hard to play, guys.
With half the cartridge
Like it's icy. The controls are icy and
the first screen all the time. Granted, as a kid, I loved the feeling of starting a new game and would always restart a Pokemon file because I liked the clean slate feeling. So I was like, maybe I never got too far because of similar reasoning. No, not the case. This game would die in a hole. I love it. It's my childhood. But oh my god, someone could hit all of them with a hammer, and I would not be sad. You play as Bubbles, which may I mention.
Oh, that game.
Wow. Even
Very
as a kid,
simply.
Is Bubbles a man? You fly around and collect, like, everything. There's so many collectibles, and I don't know what any of them do. Rings, trading cards, plutonium, hearts, phones, people. But it's almost impossible because the flying mechanics are like trying to...
Yeah, that's what pretty much this game is.
The whole game is an ice level in the sky. There's also criminals afoot, and they're ready to fight you. You can beat them up, but I also like how if you just walk past them, they'll square up and then just go, meh, whatever. This guy just straight up has a gun. Alright, who gave the nerd a gun? Ow, ow, stop, ow, stop. Also, what the heck is that? Is he hitting me? Something is hitting me. He's spinning angrily. Anyway, this
Looks
game
like a
is bullcrap.
virus.
The levels are huge and way too open
The
to the screen.
coronavirus.
You get lost. Moving around is a nightmare. Things you need to do to progress are cryptic as heck. The first level, you've got to find a key after rescuing Miss Bellum. Where's the key? Under a secret cave that's almost invisible and hard to get to. That's not level 1 material. Oh, why wouldn't you want to explore the area and find it on your own? Because the controls are garbage, and I'm honestly just trying to survive. I stopped playing after getting halfway through the second area because it's all way too difficult to figure out without a guide. I watched this guy stream the game to see if I was just being an idiot with video games, and he wasn't having much different of an experience, so I felt better about myself after that. Next game, SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. As a kid, I remember really liking this game, probably because SpongeBob was my favorite TV show, so I was excited to revisit it. I was shut down real quick. This game's a platformer with a pretty simple plot. Plankton made a bunch of robots to steal a Krabby Patty formula, but forgot to set the obey Plankton lever to on. And why bother just flipping it to obey when it's already down anyway? So now there's robots all over the place, not obeying anyone, and SpongeBob needs to do something about it because Mr. Krabs says they're scaring away customers. But the thing is, the robots are kind of harmless. They just ponder around and do nothing necessarily evil. Even when you bump into them, they're like, oh, pardon me. This robot can't harm you. This big guy wouldn't hurt a fly. This one takes you to where you need to go. I don't see much of an issue here other than the fact there's just robots walking around. What was that? Does someone have a gun? Oh my god, this one's just a bazooka. So the majority of the enemies in the game aren't enemies. They're more just objects / platforms to help you get to the end of the level. But the thing about this game is that someone put the gravity to like 300%. SpongeBob can't jump high or far enough to cover almost any ground, so most of the time you have to redo a bunch of stuff because if you don't wait until the last little pixel of the platform, then you ain't making that jump. It's so tedious and adds a bunch of frustration to the game, not to mention the robots you're supposed to jump or stand on move so slow, and most of the time when you get to them, they're moving the opposite direction, so you have to wait for them to slowly float all the way back to you a decade later, only for you to miss the jump because the gravity is bricks. I played through the whole game, and the amount of times I died because I couldn't see the next platform, or had to take leaps of faith, or even just got hit with bullets out of nowhere was torture.
That's Nintendo character.
Oh my god, I thought the boss levels were decent. They're probably the easiest parts of the game though. The Patrick robot was horrifying and I don't want to see it ever again. I love this game. I have great memories playing it like 13 years ago, but right now it's dead to me. Great game. I played it a bunch as a kid. It can burn in the gym. Moving on to Barbie Groovy games. I know, it sounds weird. Jaden, why did you have a Barbie game? Were you super girly as a kid? No, I wasn't. My parents just gave it to me, and I played it because what else was I gonna do? Not play it? Unlike the other games I've talked about so far, this one's just a bunch of Barbie mini games. Tic-tac-toe, rocks, which is a fancy word for saying checkers. This weird horse racing version of Hangman, Connect 4. Fun fact about me, I will always lose at Connect 4. I think what happens is I just get too focused on what I'm doing to notice the other person.
Guys, this video, I'm gonna try to do it as long as possible.
There's a bunch of other games on there, some suck more than others, but the one I remember the most as a kid was Barbie's version of Snake. Conga line. I'm not joking. They took Snake and were like, but what if instead of a snake eating apples, it's a bunch of Barbies dancing in a conga line, and they can like pick up Barbies along the way to make a longer line. I love this game. It's stupid and hilarious, and I can't get enough of it. Look at those moves. They are having the time of their life in this bedroom, I think. Also, when you miss one of the girls, it becomes a weird like cult dance. Imagine that scenario right there in real life. That's terrifying, and I want it to be real. The Barbie game was pretty fun. I lost at most of the other games against Teresa, but we don't need to talk about that. It's one of those pick up and put down wherever you want kind of games, and I understand why I like it. Finally,
Yo, this ball didn't know how big.
this one's a bit different because it's a plug and play game. I had a couple of these as a kid. SpongeBob plug and play, and the Nicktoons plug and play. The Nicktoons plug and play was my favorite as a kid, so I wanted to replay that one. There's a Fairly Odd Parents game that's kind of just Pac-Man, Jimmy Neutron game with ladders and aliens. Alright. A SpongeBob board game thing you can play with friends. But the games that I wanted to talk about are the Rocket Power one and the other SpongeBob game. There's two. And I love the Rocket Power one and would mainly play the plug and play just for this game specifically. It's basically a top-down